Alright people, what is going on? Here's the biggest mistake I've noticed all of the footballers make, like without an exception, alright? When the in-season comes, they stop working, alright? They stop hitting the damn weights in the gym, and what it will lead to decrease in performance, and it will lead an increase in rate of injury, alright? Why am I saying that? Because look, with the off-season things are pretty clear, alright? You get your ass in the gym, you get fucking strong, explosive, fast, all the good shit, alright? However, during the in-season, your focus will probably shift from hitting the PRs in the gym on your trap bar deadlifts and shit to your performance on the field, alright? Like, obviously. So for this exact reason, you gotta be smart, man, you know? You can't just go to the gym like you did during the off-season, like 4 times, 5 times a week, increase fucking weights on the bar each and every time, all this good shit. You should leave it to the off-season. During the in-season, you have to be smart so that you're fresh for your games, so that you're scoring goals, you bring in your team winning points and shit. So for this exact reason, I'm filming this video so that I can share with you 4 crucial bullet points that you should follow during your in-season training in the gym. So bear with me, follow all 4 of them, and I guarantee that this season is going to be your best one, alright? But hold on for a second, let me preface by saying this. During the in-season there is a good amount of personalized work that comes into play, alright? So what do I mean by that? If you're a starter and you're playing like 70% of the game full time, you're actively engaged in your team's plays, then your workout template will look like completely different from the bench player who is sitting by the sideline all the time. And actually I don't even see any problems with giving this bench player almost the exact template with some reduced conditioning work that he would use during the off-season. By the way, if you're interested in step-by-step guide what to do in the gym as a footballer, I'll put the link down in the description to my recent article so that you can learn for yourself. In this article, I'm going through like everything, starting from stretching before a workout, starting from warm-up till the conditioning in the end of the workout. So check this article out. Nevertheless, as I said, there's a good amount of personalized work, but I'll assume that you're a starter, that you're playing, you're actively engaged in your team's games and stuff. So without further ado, let's jump in. So the very first thing you should keep in mind when programming and going to the gym during the in-season is that recovery comes first, alright? You don't want to get your asshole beat up in the gym on Wednesday and perform like shit on Saturday, alright? Remember, during the off-season, you had much more leeway when it comes to training adaptation and in terms of fatigue, so that you could push the adaptation almost each and every fucking training session. You could add the weight to the bar. You didn't care about soreness whatsoever. You just pushed and pushed and pushed. During the in-season, you shouldn't like push the adaptation all the time. It's more about pulling this adaptation, you know, so that you're never going beyond your MRV, your maximal recoverable volume, because otherwise it will be detrimental to your performance on the field. And I'm not even mentioning the fact that you might get injured, and it's like the worst thing you can encounter as a footballer during the in-season, alright? So remember, you are going to be stressed not only from an increased amount of team practices and games and travel, but emotional and mental stress also comes into play and add up to your fatigue levels. So during the in-season training, I want you to shift your mindset from progressing in the weight room to maintaining your strength levels. Which brings me to the second point, maintain your strength level. As I've said in the beginning of the video, you still have to show up in the gym and lift some heavy ass weights, alright? You are not going to show up as frequently and lift as much as you did during the off season, but you still have to do it, alright? It just has to be done. Point blank period. Remember, your level of strength is your backbone. It's like Eric Crazy's analogy of strength being the glass of water, and inside this glass are all the physical qualities of athletic performance like speed, power, agility, speed, endurance, etc. Meaning, the bigger your glass, the bigger your strength level, the more those qualities can be expressed. So while it holds true for the in-season training, I like how Mike Robertson changed this analogy for the guys during their in-seasons. And now I want you to think of the same exact glass of water, but now it has the hole at the bottom of the glass and the water is leaking out, alright? And this is perfect irrespective of you losing your strength levels during your competitive season. So if you did all the things right during your off season, you have a bigger glass. So even if you have a hole at the bottom of this glass, you are still losing some levels of strength. However, you have a bigger reserve that you can lose. And if you continue your strength training during the in-season, it's like you doing your best to plug the hole in that glass. But please remember point number one. Your priority is not to trap bar 1 RM every Wednesday, alright? But rather to perform just enough so that it's not interfering with your recovery and allows you to maintain your strength levels for as long as fucking possible. So how should you go about the strength training during the in-season then? Thank you for asking. Point number 3, don't get sore. While your goal should never be like to get sore from a workout, and it's a bad indicator of whether you've done a good job or not, alright? The best indicator is your performance, remember that. If you are training hard, you will eventually get sore here and there. So during the in-season, your goal should be to minimize that soreness. And here are some helpful tips to go about your training during the in-season. Tip number 1, use familiar exercises and try not to introduce anything new. So if prior to your in-season, you've been strengthening your squat pattern with, let's say, Bulgarian split squats, don't try to switch them to barbell back squats like all of a sudden, alright? Keep exercises the same. Point number 2, keep the intensity high but drop the volume a little bit. You can go multiple routes here, alright? But the simplest example I can provide you with is, let's say you used to do 3 sets on weighted chin-ups on your upper body focus day. Now instead of performing 3 sets of 5, perform 2 sets of 5. Point number 3, reduce the eccentric component of exercises as much as possible. So let's say you're performing some trap bar deadlifts, alright? So instead of slowly lowering this bar, just drop it instead if possible, alright? And try to incorporate more exercises with no eccentric component to them. One of my favorite exercises to use during the in-season, and not only during the in-season honestly, but parallel pushes. It's like one of the most favorite exercises for improving sprinting mechanics, sprinting speed. Like, it's one of the best exercises you can perform as a footballer. And point number 4, lift 1 to 2 times a week. It's generally a good recommendation for almost all the footballers. I personally use this with each and every one of my clients and see amazing results with them. Here are a couple other things to consider. First, sprint 1 to 2 times a week. The biggest reason for sprinting is to prepare your body for game conditions. Most goals are scored after 50 to 80 meter sprints. And you know what's funny? It's not funny actually, but the most common injury is to pull a hamstring. So don't neglect your sprinting work, but don't overdo it. 8 to 10 sprints of 5 to 10 meters is plenty to get all the benefits of sprinting work. You might do it either in a single session after a warm-up or microdose throughout the week and perform 2 to 3 sprints every other day. And second and last thing to consider is if you played less than 30 minutes, add some type of conditioning. The reason to add some type of condition work is because you see, most injuries are received under fatigue, so it's important to keep your conditioning levels. As I said in the beginning of this video, if you are a starter player, you don't need much conditioning, like you don't need conditioning whatsoever because you get plenty in your team practices and games. Nevertheless, let's say that you played under 30 minutes. In that case, perform 10 to 12 minutes consisting of sprints in 1 to 5 work to rest ratio. Like 6 seconds on, 30 off, 8 seconds on, 40 off, or 10 seconds on, 50 seconds off. If you want to get a free 2 days a week strength training program for your in-season, just click the link in the description. I'll provide you with an article where you can find it. And last but not least, point number 4, consider adding some recovery modalities. Man, I can't stress the importance of recovering enough. The reason being because I myself got injured so many times because of recovering too little and training too much, alright? I've already wrote a comprehensive recovery guide for footballers, which you can find in the description. I'll put the link down below. please go ahead and read it. Nevertheless, here are 5 simple tips to improve your recovery during the in-season. First and foremost, train within your recovery capabilities, alright? It's as simple as that. If you are doing too much, no matter how much carbohydrates you get, no matter how much sleep you get, no matter how many ice baths, hot baths, saunas you get, you will not be able to recover from simply doing too much. Please understand that. Point number 2, as boring as it sounds, is the most important thing to your recovery. You can do nothing else but that. Sleep 8 to 10 hours per night and do it consistently. Go to bed at the same time each and every day, and even during the weekends, you're a motherfucker. Put that phone away and go to sleep. You have to perform, you have to recover, you have to train hard, but you also have to recover hard in order to earn the right to train hard, alright? So please understand that. You are not getting stronger, you're not getting faster by doing all types of shit in the gym. You're only growing faster and stronger when you are recovering. By training, you are getting weaker and slower, alright? You understand that? You're breaking yourself down when you are training. In order to build yourself up after that shit, you have to recover. And the most important thing to do is to get that sleep. Point number 3, try not to stress over little things and focus only on those things that you have control over. If you are stressed, if you're anxious, if you're maybe depressed, of course I am nowhere near a specialist or something, but I found an exercise that works extremely well. Just take a list, alright, and write down all the things that are bothering you, alright? Just make a list, like from 1 to 10, or maybe 50 things are bothering you, alright? Just write them down, look at all the things, and look at the things you have control over. If you have control over, like, let's say 5 things, just eliminate all the other stuff, all the other shit you should not care about, and focus on these 5 things, alright? Point number 4, drink enough and eat enough. I've already wrote a comprehensive, I know that I've said this before, but it's really comprehensive guide, alright? There is everything you need as a footballer to know about the nutrition side of things. I'll put the link down in the description as well to my article. Please read it, please educate yourself, and remember that it's important to eat slightly above your maintenance calories during the in-season, like 5 to 10%. And number 5, what I found works extremely well to kickstart the recovery process right after your training session is to incorporate some type of breathing exercises. What I myself personally like to do is to put my legs against the wall and just deeply breathe for 5 minutes, relaxing, focusing on my breath, focusing on 360 degrees circumferential expansion, alright? Getting those deep breaths in, fully exhaling, and you're good to go. Because the last thing after a training session you want to do when your heart rate is like 180 is to go straight to the locker room and being angry and pumped up, go and living your life, alright? You gotta relax, you gotta chill. Remember, you have to start the recovery process as fast as possible so that you're ready to perform next training session and you are already fully recovered. So incorporate some type of breathing to the end of your workouts, please. So if you are going to perform these 5 things consistently well, by these 5 things I mean training within your recovery capabilities, sleeping enough 8 to 10 hours, not stressing over little things and focusing on things you have control over, drinking and eating enough, and incorporate some type of breathing exercises, I guarantee that you will have no problems with your recovery. So in conclusion, guys, I want to say this. If you get from this video nothing but this one thing, remember, your priority during the in-season is to stay healthy and injury-free. While you can't insure yourself from 2-leg tackle in your ankle, you can make everything on your part to keep yourself in the best conditions for the game day. In order to do that, focus on recovering well, sleeping right, training within your recovery capabilities, maintaining your strength levels, alright? Gotta maintain those biceps, bro, and enjoy your life more. Please, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Let me know if you have any concerns or any other shit, and I'll get back to you guys very, very soon. Ciao!